Let's talk about success, motivation, self improvement, self help books, speeches, and seminars, and how they relate to us autistic people. Let me start by saying that we autistic people are a minority. So, unless these speeches, seminars, or books, unless they specify that they're aimed at us autistic people, they're probably not written with us in mind. They're more for neurotypical people, not us. So let's talk some more about that. This is Hunter, and I'm glad to have you with me. And this is an important subject that I think we need to cover. I know you've all heard the phrase, you need to get out of your comfort zone. I'm not sure when that annoying phrase was invented, but I never have liked it. Has that phrase ever made you feel at ease or made you feel inspired or made you feel better? I always want to ask when I hear that phrase, so you want me to get more out of my comfort zone than I already am? Because as an autistic man, I'm pretty much out of my comfort zone 24/7. Frankly, I'm already pretty uncomfortable. I mean, I've been out of my comfort zone for 57 years now, Bubba. I think I've got it down. And I haven't found it to be the key to success. You know, as autistic people, we're desperately trying to find our comfort zone and stay in it, because being in our comfort zone is when we're the most productive. And being out of the comfort zone for so long has taken its toll, hasn't it? Don't you do better in your comfort zone? What motivates and helps us? It's peace. Peace is what motivates us. The opposite of what they're trying to give us, and the opposite of what they're saying we should be chasing after. We autistic people thrive in our comfort zone. You know what my comfort zone is? No interruptions. I have only one task to focus on, and I have control over the sensory stuff that's going on all around me. When I have those things, when I'm in my comfort zone, I can do anything. I can achieve happiness, contentment, and I can be 100 times more productive than in any other environment. And I know the same is true of you. As autistic people, shouldn't we be trying to find our comfort zone and get in it and try to stay in it? What about this other catchphrase that was invented long after I'd become an adult? You need to think outside the box. Another useless piece of advice for autistic people, because we spend our whole life thinking outside the box. We already do that. And in fact, we've often been criticized for it. It's kind of ironic that people keep trying to put us, shove us inside their box. But congratulations to all of you autistic people out there, because you already think outside the box. You think creatively, wonderfully, uniquely. There was an episode of The Three Stooges in which Moe took poor Curly's nose and literally put it to an actual grindstone, and sparks were flying out. If you're autistic, don't these motivational success, self-improvement books and speeches make you kind of feel that way? I know they do that to me. They make me feel that I'm not enough, that I'm not as good as everyone else, that I need to try harder because I must not be doing enough. And they make me anxious. I'm introverted and low key, and these books just want you to be mega driven and on and pumped up all the time and ready to conquer the world. when really my biggest goal and drive is peace. I used to devour these self-help improvement success books, and I would take notes in a big journal that I have. And let me show you some of the things that I wrote down in my journal back when I was reading all these books.
You are going to be a success.
Aim high, dream big, touch the sky.
There is no stopping me.
You are a success.
Go and do it and let nothing stop you.
What about these kinds of phrases?
Shoot for the moon.
Sorry. Shoot for the moon. Just do it. Treat every day like it's the Super Bowl. You only live once. Live every day like it's the last.
Unless you're an extroverted adrenaline junkie, doesn't this kind of stuff give you anxiety? I mean, I'm seeking peace, not war. Doesn't this stuff that appeals to these kinds of emotions wear off the next day? You don't need to be super aggressive or mega extroverted. Do you know that if everybody was, we wouldn't have nearly all the great art, music, inventions, and advances in science that we have? We autistic people have that great hyperfocus that has allowed us to accomplish these kinds of things, and we can achieve hyperfocus when we're at ease, not when we're overloaded with pumped up emotions and sensory stimuli. You don't have to conquer the world. Just feel good about yourself and realize your capabilities. What about when you're made to feel that you're not trying hard enough, that you need to try harder? As autistic people, we've been trying as hard as we can since the day we were born. So we don't really need to try harder. I think we need to try differently because our minds are different. What about this one? You need to be more positive. As autistic people, we value honesty and authenticity. So if conditions around you are, by any objective standard, pretty crummy, you're going to feel like you're lying to yourself if you're saying that they're not. Now, I think there's a middle ground, you know. Nobody enjoys being around a negative person too much. You know, somebody that doesn't have a positive thing or a good thing to say about anything. So we don't want to be like that. But we don't want to exhibit toxic positivity either. The narrator will explain.
Toxic positivity is the pressure to maintain a cheerful attitude despite dire circumstances, and genuine emotions do not get acknowledged nor processed.
It tends to gloss over and do away with true, genuine expression.
Hey, I can do this myself, woman, you know.
Wow. Cool it, Turkey.
Did I hear you correctly? Woman, it is so over between us.
OMG. It never even started between us, Junior.
I'm so out of here, dadgummit.
Okay.
Well then,
Stop
go
it.
on with your bad self. Baby cakes. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Well, I never. This is an outrage. I studied at Cambridge.
Boo-hoo. Grow up.
I gotta get a new staff. Knuckleheads. Okay, there you have it. All these improvement success tips, books, and seminars are really aimed toward non-autistic people. So basically, they're trying to tell autistic people to be neurotypical, which is kind of like telling somebody with 2 arms to be an octopus. Can a neurotypical person become autistic? Yeah, no. So what would make anybody think that an autistic person could become neurotypical. It's not going to happen. So maybe instead of wasting your energy on these kinds of things, you should spend it on building the kind of life that works for you. The way your brain is wired can't be changed. If you keep reading improvement tips meant for neurotypicals, you're just going to burn yourself out, disappoint yourself, and make yourself feel inferior. And you're going to wonder why all this stuff seems to work for other people but not for you. You're going to think that you must not have it, this magical thing that everybody else seems to have. They must be trying harder, right? They must be smarter, right? They must have a stronger character, right? Wrong. Don't kick yourself for not being some kind of big wheel that these books think are the ideal person. These people don't walk around kicking themselves for not being as honest, genuine, kind, empathetic, unique, creative, etc., as you are. You sure made me feel like $1,000,000 with all the support you showed me on the first video I did for my channel. And I tell you, none of these wheeler-dealer types that go to these learn how to be a big shot seminars has ever made me feel like $1,000,000. So you can do something that they can't do, and it comes naturally to you. Now I want to share something with you that is very relevant to this discussion. Most of you know my friend MJ, who is autistic. She has her own channel, and the channel name is unusual. The channel name is Zebra Not Horse. Which makes you wonder, what does that mean? Well, first of all, I highly recommend her channel. It's excellent, and MJ is really cool. On her channel's page, she explains the story behind her channel's name. And let me read what's there on her channel's page, talking about why her channel's name is Zebra Not Horse. There is comfort in knowing that you are a normal zebra, not a strange horse. Because you can't find a community of other zebras, can't learn what makes a zebra thrive, what brings a zebra joy, if you don't know you are a zebra and you are learning solely from horses. It is near impossible to be happy and mentally healthy if you're spending all your life thinking you're a failed horse, having others tell you that you're a failed horse, when all along you could be thriving and understood if everyone, including you, just knew you were a zebra. This was originally authored by and it resonated with MJ, so she shared it. And it resonated with me, and I bet it resonated with you. You're not defective. You're just different. I think if autistic people were the majority, there would be a lot of neurotypical traits that would be considered defective. So, but I'm not trying to start a thing of us versus them. Let me just say, you're not a broken neurotypical. You're a just right neurodivergent. You just have the best day ever. And I'll talk to you again real soon.